What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In case you haven't heard, the CEO killer, Luigi Mangione, is in some circles being hailed as a hero for the cold-blooded gunning down and killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. I spoke about this the other day. I do believe that if you ask 1,000 people on the street, all 1,000 would probably say, hey, not a big fan of insurance companies, right? And I think we can all agree on that. But that is different than taking a matter into your own hands in this way and cold-blooded murder, right? I'm just going to read a couple of things that kind of talk about what it is that people are saying, because I guess in a day and age where people have become so desensitized to violence itself, and where everybody has a little pocket computer called a phone in their hand, that we would get some of this, right? There are people calling the person that called the police on Mangione is being called a little rat in some circles, right? Saying that they shouldn't have called, they shouldn't have turned him in. Another quote online that says he took action against private healthcare insurance corporations. He was a brave Italian martyr. In this house, Luigi Mangione is a hero. End of story. By an anonymous person. On Monday, Shapiro took issue with comments like those. It was an extraordinary moment that he tumbled into simply because Mangione was apprehended in Pennsylvania. Shapiro's comments, pointed, impassioned, and inevitably political, yanked the conversation unfolding on so many people's phone screens into real life. Quote, "We do not kill people in cold blood to resolve policy differences or express a viewpoint," the governor said. In a civil society, we are all less safe when ideologues engage in vigilante justice. So I talked about on here before this young man was even caught. I mentioned that to me, this was obviously a person who took great issue with American capitalism and corporate America's propensity for looking to turn a profit in everything, right? That's what our economy is built on, to turn a profit, right? If that were not the case, none of us would have jobs and be able to get paid for it, right? The company you work for, they have to make a profit. They don't make a profit, they don't have any money to pay you. You don't have a job. You're out on the street. It's kind of the way it works. Now, with that said, obviously there are some gripes and complaints that can be hurled specifically at insurance companies. I think we all get that. Maybe some of us understand that better than others based on our past experiences with insurance. However, insurance companies, just like any other company, are rooted and based in a capitalist economy, which means even insurance companies, even healthcare companies, are designed at their very foundation to make a profit, right? The house always wins. You go to a casino, you win big one night, you hit 100 grand. Well, over the last 7 or 8 years, they've probably taken $250,000 out of your pocket. If they've taken almost 300 grand out of your pocket over the last 10 years, then you hit 100 grand and you think you're doing something spectacular. They're like, You're the dumbass. I mean, think about it. Same thing with healthcare uh, and insurance. You know, people have gripes about it. They make a profit. They are set up to make a profit. So anyway, it's interesting because when I first started talking about the fact that I felt like this was a disgruntled individual, not necessarily so much at healthcare or insurance itself, but disgruntled at just corporate America and our capitalist economy in general. Got a little bit of hate for that. Uh, but I just had a feeling. I just had a feeling. And now here we are finding out that exactly what we thought was true. And I just have one thing to say to anyone out there that may have hailed this murder in cold blood as a heroic move, which now somehow elevates him to a level of martyrdom. Imagine that Brian Thompson is your father. Imagine that Brian Thompson is your uncle. Imagine that Brian Thompson is your brother, your son, right? How would you feel then? I wonder. Regina Bateson, an assistant political science professor at the University of Colorado at Boulder, has studied vigilantism, the term to which Shapiro alluded. She doesn't see this case as a good fit for the word, she says, because the victim wasn't linked to any specific crime or offense. As she sees it, it's more like domestic terrorism. Listen, I don't want this to become a pat myself on the back sort of situation because it's way bigger than me. It's way bigger than all of us. Someone lost their lives. But go back and watch my very first video before this young man was ever even caught and listen to the words come out of my mouth where I said this was more like domestic terrorism. I did say that. Just saying. But Bateson views the threats against election workers, prosecutors, and judges ticking up, plus the assassination attempts against President elect Donald Trump this past summer, as possible signs that personal grievances or political agendas could erupt. Americans are voicing more support for, or at least understanding of, political violence. Even shy of supporting violence, there are many instances of people who vent over how health insurers deny claims. Consider Tim Anderson, whose wife, Mary, dealt with United Healthcare coverage denials before she died from Lou Gehrig's disease in 2022. The business model for insurance is don't pay. Anderson, 67, of Centerville, Ohio, told Associated Press. The discourse around the killing of Mangione is more than just memes. Conversations about the interconnectedness of various parts of American life are unfolding online as well, propelled by the saga. One Reddit user said he was banned for 3 days for supporting Kyle Rittenhouse, who was acquitted after testifying he acted in self-defense when he fatally shot two people in 2020 during protests. Do you think people are getting banned for supporting Luigi? One poster wondered. The comments cover a lot of ground. They include people saying the United Healthcare slaying isn't a right or left issue and wondering what it would take to get knocked off the platform. Yeah, try to convince Elon Musk about someone not having freedom of speech. You probably just have to cross the line over into promoting violence verbally, one commenter wrote, not just laughing about how you don't care about this guy. Taken together, the comments make one thing clear. The case, and now Mangione himself, have captured the American imagination, at least for the moment. And when that happens in a nation of phones and memes, a lot of people are going to have opinions, from anonymous commenters on Reddit to the governor of Pennsylvania himself. So I believe in the First Amendment right. You know, I think that people should be able to say what they want, obviously, unless it is promoting violence or some sort of threat. No, I take that back, because saying that Mangione is a hero for what he has done, is that not promoting violence? I'm not following that. That to me seems like it is promoting violence. Is it not? The guy gets shot and killed, murdered in cold blood from behind. Obviously, there's no sort of argument of self defense or anything crazy like that, right? How is that not promoting violence online, saying that he took action against private healthcare insurance? He's a hero in my home. How is that not promoting violence? Not directly, certainly indirectly, it is. I don't suggest anyone be prevented from speaking their minds, I guess, as long as it's not some sort of direct threat to where, other people feel directly threatened by what is being said, because it is the First Amendment right. But I just more so worry about where we are in our country, where our country is. Are we really at a place where people are justifying this sort of vigilante justice? In cold blood, murder someone because they are the head of an organization that you have a personal complaint about. And I'm going to end on this. So let's think about this kid's background for a minute, okay? Went to a very prestigious high school, graduated in 2016 as the valedictorian, very top of his class, obviously a very, very intelligent individual and young man. Went on to graduate, I think it was the University of Pennsylvania, in the engineering program, graduated with a master's degree in computer science. Could this young man not have potentially made a difference in the healthcare and insurance industry by doing this the right way? He obviously has a high level of intelligence and high aptitude for learning and achievement, right? I mean, write a book, write a memoir, travel around the country and give speeches at colleges, at high schools if they'll let you, you know, talking about how certain changes need to be made in our healthcare and our insurance industry. Because he made some good points, and he talked about the way our healthcare is set up, that it is the most expensive near about in the world, but yet that our mortality rates come in 42nd. I mean, I haven't confirmed whether that data is actually true or not, but I mean, that's something to look at, right? But to draw attention to it by murdering a person who is the CEO of and in charge of United Healthcare, I mean, is that really going to get people's attention to make any sort of positive change? I don't know. Maybe. I'm objective on here. Maybe. Maybe it will. I just know that murder is wrong, right? I mean, from what I understand of the law, and I'm not a lawyer, the only time killing of another person is acceptable is if you are in a situation where it's you or them and you feel directly threatened. Your life is being threatened, or the life of your family is being directly threatened. And so you take them before they can take you. As far as I understand, that's the only time actually you can get a pass. You can get a pass. This obviously was not that, you know? So, what's worse? The dysfunctionality of our healthcare and insurance systems as a whole, or murdering an innocent person? Sounds like a question for God, to be honest. But I know what the law says. And, this Shapiro governor, he's right. We do not kill people in cold blood to resolve policy differences or express a viewpoint. In a civil society, we are all less safe when ideologues engage in vigilante justice. What do you guys think about all of this? What do you think? What do you think? Hope you guys have a good evening. Subscribe to the channel if you've not, like the video, and comment down below. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.